Yo, what's up? Okay. Shout out to the one person that's here. What's up? Alright, we'll get started soon. Okay. Alright, yo, what's up? Alright, we're starting soon. Let me just share this live stream around and then we can get started, alright? Alright, okay, this is gonna be a quick one. We're just gonna react to like a 3-minute video. Is my mic working? What's up? What's up? Is my mic working? Okay. Alright, this is gonna be a quick one. This one shouldn't take us too long. We're just gonna react to like the three we're just gonna react to like the 3-minute trailer of Hazbin Hotel, the new promo. So y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me properly, right? Y'all can hear me properly. Y'all can hear me good, right? Wait, am I too close? Am I too far? We're not gonna react to 2 hours of Yo Mama Joe's. 2 hours of Yo. Shit. Depending on how many viewers stay around, I might react to some other content. You know what I mean? I might I might react to some brain dead Helluva Boss takes. I guess I don't know. Depending on how it goes, I might react to some brain dead takes. Um, I don't actually. You know what? Now that I think about it, you know what? Now that I think about it, you know what? Now that I think about it, you know what? When this stream is over, um, we're gonna get on to you know what? Let's get on to because I offered criticisms towards Just Stop and Cartoonshi in their has been videos, and I think I think I went pretty in depth about why the criticisms towards Raph were bad, but I feel like I could have added a little bit more on. So I feel like maybe in this stream I'll do that. I don't know. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Anyway. Maybe. I might do that. You know what? It all depends on how I feel. But anyway. All right. Okay, let's get this started. Me who has no idea who this who about this content, but is here for the ride. Okay. Um, I guess Hasbin isn't super. Crap. What the hell's going on? Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. Here we fucking go. All right, let's turn this up all the way. Okay, let's turn this up all the way. Oh yeah, like and share the stream. Like and share the stream. Uh, it'd be nice if I could get some super chats, whatever. All right, here we go. All right. How does it look? Okay, perfect. All right, it looks perfect in the live stream. It looks perfect as fuck. There's no echo, right? There's no echo. There's no echo. There's no echo. Actually, wait. There's no echo, right?
Is it recording? Oh, okay, it is. Hello there, everyone. It's me.
Based Charlie. Based Charlie. Based Charlie, by the way. I really fucking cooked. All right, okay, nice. Yo, shout out Charlie. Yo, I fucking cooked when I cosplayed as her, bro. Bro, you cannot tell me I did not get that shit right. I got that shit super right. You cannot tell me I did not get that shit right. I got that shit spot fucking on. I got that shit spot on. I got that shit spot on. I got the pose, the look, and everything. I got that shit spot fucking on. All right. Anyway, okay. Now that we're back at it again. I said back to back, way back, stack to M's. All right. Okay. A goal. Maybe like one super chat. Honestly. Fuck 3 hours. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Wait. Okay. Wait. All right. Let's get back to where we started. I just had to. I just had to fucking make sure that like my audio wasn't reverbing. I just had to make sure that my audio wasn't fucking reverbing. But anyway, all right, let's get back into it.
Charlie Morningstar, founder of the Hazbin Hotel, which is
Totally amazing, by the way. Thank you so much for asking. I didn't
totally
ask.
going amazing, by the way. Thank you so much for asking. Anyway, I'm sure you are all aware of the amazing news that we have been greenlit for seasons 3 and 4.
Bro, it being greenlit for seasons 3 and 4 is gonna be so fucking awesome because nah, bro, I'm not, bro. Just because someone dresses up as a fucking character that doesn't mean they're no. That's just putting on a fucking costume. That doesn't turn you into something else. In the same way that like if I dressed up as a fucking furry, I wouldn't automatically be a fucking animal. Or sorry, not a furry. Sorry. Not a furry. If I dressed up as a cat, I wouldn't be a fucking animal. I personally, but whatever. I have no problem with femboys. If you want to do that shit, whatever, do that shit on your own time. But like, I personally just don't really care for it. I don't really care for it. But I mean, if that's what you're into, fine. I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care. At the end of the day, you can dress up as whatever the fuck you want, as long as the thing you're dressing up as isn't like offensive. If you're putting on, if you're putting on blackface, you're that like, but that's obviously an extreme example. But that's the example that I would think of that would be offensive. If you're dressing up as like a fucking terrorist,
Of Hazbin Hotel.
Hold on a sec. I'm Helluva.
I'm falling. Bitch, how the fuck are you falling? Bro, you are literally holding on to the damn fucking portal. Hello? Oh crap, wait.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, hello. Yeah, hi, hello. Yeah, that's normally what I say when I meet someone who just pops up out of, oh wait, also. Wait. Wait, am I tweaking? Wait.
Hello. Are you?
Wait. Wait, what the fuck? Wait. Whoever whoever did this animation for some reason fucked up the colors? What the fuck? For some reason fucked up. Oh, wait, no. Oh, never mind. No. Sorry, no. Blitzo's jacket is just turned over. I thought for a second whoever did this fucked up the colors or something. Fucking lousy. Okay, that was a lousy transition. There's no point in doing this transition of like the person wearing the red shit, if in the next scene you aren't going to do something like, if you aren't going to have the animation show the jacket progressively come down, like, bro, what the fuck was the point of this? This is just a lousy jump cut. What the fuck is this?
Are you okay, Mr.
Yep.
Blitz. The O is silent.
Blitz, the O is silent. I don't. What is the point of even telling them that the? What is the point of even telling them that the O is fucking silent? If you. What is the point of telling them that the O is silent? Like. What is the point of telling them that the O is silent? Just say your name is Blitz. Like how are they gonna know that? How are they gonna know that it has an O anyway?
So what's all this about?
Oh,
White screen.
well, I was telling everyone about how exciting it is that we're getting more seasons of Hazbin Hotel.
Yeah, that is pretty exciting. Hey, I have something to say and I need your opinion. Well, what the Tut Wheezy? What is it, Tut Wheezy? What is it? What is it, bro? What is it? What is it, my op? What is it? What is it? What is it, my brother? What is it?
Yeah.
It is nice that the news season's getting updated because that means I'll have content. I'll have content for a long ass time. I'll have content for a long ass time. That's fucking good. It's about Stolas and Stella. It's gonna take me like a full minute to type, so let me explain. Okay, fine.
That's good for you. But that's old.
Crap. Yo, Art of War 3. Wait, are you joined 2 years ago? Oh shit! I guess this is your first stream, huh? Are you new to the channel? Are you new to the channel? I need your opinion. All right. All right. Bet. Yo. 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 Crap. All right. I'm probably just gonna react to the whole I'm probably not gonna put if someone sends me a super or a membership or a perk or something like that, fine. Maybe I'll take time out of my day to read most of this stuff, but most of the time I'm not really gonna do that because everybody else here just wants to watch this stuff and just after that just fuck off with their lives. So unless this is like a super quick question, or someone donates like a super, I'm really not gonna probably go in depth with answering this question. About Stolas and Stella. What is there to even explain? Stolas is the embodiment of child neglect and Stolas is the embodiment of child neglect and Stella is the embodiment of toxic femininity, feminine toxic mother, a toxic abusive mother. What else is there to explain? That's it. That's it. I just explained it to you. That's it. That's literally it. They both fucking suck. Yeah, Stella did Stolas wrong, but that doesn't justify you're still a shit person to your fucking daughter. Are obviously getting couples therapy because no way the Stolas dad Paimon would just let that happen. So obviously because there's no way the Stolas. I can kind of see what you mean. They're both famous celebrities, so it would make sense why the dad wouldn't want that to happen because as we saw with Oops, as we saw wait, let me find it. Because again, because both Stella and Stolas are both very popular by default in the world of Helluva. You know what I mean? You gotta think. Um, I mean, yeah, but what does Stella have to lose? Her reputation is already in the toilet. Her reputation is already in the toilet. You can't you can't cancel somebody who's already hated by majority of people. This is like trying to cancel um this is like trying to cancel fucking what's his name? Let me think of somebody. Let me think of somebody. What's his name? This is like trying to cancel what's a person that's hated amongst the other royals don't even know though. No, they probably do. They probably do. They probably do. They probably do. I don't. I don't. I don't see any universe where Stella's like father doesn't ask like, where the fuck is Stolas? I don't. I don't like. I don't like. It wouldn't even matter at this point because now that Stolas is a disinherited noble, it wouldn't even matter because now Stella has the perfect opportunity to immediately divorce his ass because Stella can just be like, of course I divorced you. You're a shit person. You're an infidel. You're a no good cheater. You're a fucking neglectful father. Like all that shit. You know what I mean? You're a mastermind. You're a masterminding jackass. Like if anything, Stella now has the most ability to play victim, to play victim, to play victim and divorce Stolas without shit getting put onto her because she can just say, "Well, you fucking suck, so I'm divorcing you." Period. I don't. Yeah. It's yeah. Anyway, it doesn't. Whatever.
News, bitch.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Hold on to your little titties, because I'm here to announce that Helluva Boss is coming to Prime Video. But plot twist.
Coming to Prime Video. Fuck. The therapy session won't go, bro. I don't think there will even be a therapy session. There won't be a therapy session. Like why would there be therapy when Stella what what that makes no what are you what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Couples therapy is something that both people voluntarily go to. That's the point of it. The point if it's because they want to salvage the relationship. If one if both parties don't want to salvage a relationship, then like what would be the point of there's no couples therapy because nobody is motivated to show up. Exactly. Yeah, Stella would just come up with some excuse being like, and even then, Stella would come up with some excuse like, "Oh well, I'm too busy taking care of Octavia. I'm too busy taking care of the daughter. I have no time for this couples therapy nonsense." Like, exactly. Sorry, wait, I gotta go get some water. I'll be back in a sec. All right. Well, it was nice to meet you. All right. Take care, dude. Take care, dude. I'll probably be live streaming for a little bit longer, so feel free to check me out. All I'm saying is Paimon will definitely intervene. Have a nice day. Yo, I don't who Oh, I get it. You mean like intervene as in like not allow the divorce to happen. Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, but that wouldn't really work because I'm assuming Stella's parents are probably 10 times more powerful than Stolas's parents, which is why they wanted Stolas to marry the daughter to begin with anyway. So it wouldn't like it's not about It's not about who's in the right or who's in the wrong. It's about who's got the power. Who's got the power to have a narrative. That's all it is. Anyway, let's get this shit over with.
Yes, it's also still going to be on YouTube. So, bam! You thought that Hazbin Hotel was the only hell show that Daddy Amazon was horny for?
I guess this idea of like putting it on Amazon is kind of a little bit smart, I suppose. Like, I mean, it's obvious why they're doing it. It's to boost revenue as much as possible. So that way people who are like reviewing the show or people who want to get the newest scoop of Helluva Boss don't want to have to wait for the show to release. So they'll buy an Amazon subscription so that way they can review it, the show, or keep in touch with the fandom as quick as possible. I guess that's what they I guess that would be like why, but like aside from that, I don't really see any like purpose of not just waiting for a new episode to drop. Like I don't like is a couple weeks really gonna fucking kill you? Like
Yep! They wanted all this!
Oh my gosh! Wow, that is so great!
yeah, that is great, Charlie. Money, 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 money.
Congratulations! How does that work?
Well, child.
How does that work? Oh, you naive fuck. Oh, you stupid bitch, Charlie. You know, for a person who owns a hotel, it's amazing how you don't know the concept of. It's amazing for a person who owns a business, you don't know the concept of subscription services.
I'll tell you.
It's Charlie.
Listen up, Chuckle Fucks. Prime Video's teaming up with Spindle Horse. Ooh, that is a good name. To support
Prime is teamed up with Spindle Horse.
the making of Helluva Boss's remaining seasons. Now, I'm talking full fucking episodes.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Full seasons. The whole shebang. And, oh, the best part is, full creative control remains entirely with this bitch.
And I actually believe that. I actually believe that full creative control does with Vivzy Pop. Amazon Prime is a lot less restrictive than Netflix, I think, in some regards. Not all of them, but some. Not all of them, but some. I know Netflix is a lot more like stricter on their streaming regulations, like how they do shit. I think they're a little bit more stricter. So yeah, that's true.
I guess she made everything here.
Yeah, she did.
She's in charge.
Not a bitch. Really love her.
Not a bitch, really love her. Well, Charlie, some other people would disagree with you. Some other people don't think so. Some other people think some other people don't. Some other people don't think so. Okay. All right, let's get this shit over with.
Then, after a little bit more than a month or so of being on Prime Video.
Oh, that's it? A month? Wait, that's it? A month? Wait, that's it? A month? Like besides reviewers and people who want the newest scoop on this fandom, like why would anybody else not be motivated to just wait 1 month for content that's going to come out anyway? What?
First, the show will release in its entirety, as it always has, on YouTube. So
wait, is a perk to this being that like Amazon is okay, here's what you do, okay? Because I know that there is a lot of censored out or blurred out shit on the Helluva Boss episodes. Like there's a lot of blur. Wait, let me see. Wait. there is a lot of blurred out shit on Helluva Boss's episodes, right? So here's what you fucking do. Here's what you do. Here's what you do. Here's what you do. Mm. Actually, wait. Here's what you do. Here's what you do. Here's what you do to encourage people to use your Amazon, to actually legitimately use your Amazon Prime. Sup, Rebecca? What's up? What's good, What's up? What's good, Rebecca? Wait. Um. Oh. Sup, Rebecca? Oh, hey, what's good? I hope you're new. Well, I hope you enjoyed new or old. I hope you enjoyed the stream. But anyway, so this incentive from Vivzy Pop is fucking dog shit, and let me explain why. Besides, besides reviewers and people who want the newest scoop or are diehard fans of this fandom, most people are gonna be willing to wait 1 month for content that comes out for $0 and 0 cents. Here is what you fucking do, okay? There are here's what you fucking do. Here's what you fucking do, okay? There are various episodes. There are various episodes or scenes within Helluva Boss that are censored out or blurred out or bleeped out or whatever the fuck, right? Because of like how YouTube's monetization service works, right? Because of how that shit works, right? Here's what you fucking do. Okay, wait. Oh, wait. Helluva Boss. Here we go. Where is it? Okay, here we go. X's and O's. Here's what you fucking do. Okay, here we go. Here's what you fucking do. Here is what you fucking do, okay? Here's what you fucking like. Watch, look, watch. I'm cooking. I'm cooking right now. Cooking right now. Like, watch this. I'm cooking right now. Here's what you fucking do, okay? Here is what you do. Here's what you do. There are various moments. There are various moments or series or seasons or various things that have to be censored out, bleeped out, blurted out, cut out, or hidden from public's view, right? Like for example, like let me find it. Crap. Let me like scroll down a bit. I'm cooking here. God damn it. What the fuck is it taking so long to load? Oh, here we go. There are multiple moments where scenes come on. There are multiple moments where scenes come on throughout this show that have to be censored. They have to be blurred out. There are multiple moments or scenes that come within the show that have to be censored. They have to be blurred out. They have to be crossed out. All that good shit, right? All that stuff to like protect, I guess, protect the viewer's eyes, I suppose. There's like all this good shit that has to be blurred out, and has to be hidden from the general public, right? Like this shit, like all this stuff. What you simply do is offer your Prime subscription service. Besides releasing content that comes out newer and more frequently or more earlier than on YouTube, you simply have uncensored, raw, uncut footage of the episodes on Prime, while people who, of course, don't subscribe to the Prime service have to watch these censored, cut out, or blurred out versions of the episodes or shows. Holy fuck. This is like so simple. Like, who the fuck is this business? Who is the business team behind this? They need to be fired. This is like standard shit. You simply have a Amazon Prime have, or they just yeah, they just have to fire. Oh well that too. But assuming that like this person, doesn't have access to like the pirated version. You simply have the Amazon Prime version have raw, uncensored content, uncensored, unfiltered out. So all of these rubber, didlos, I'll just call them didlos. All these rubber stuffs are uncensored and uncensored and unblurred. So people who subscribe to the Prime and don't get me wrong, this fandom is degenerate. Let's not act like the fandom wouldn't want to see this shit uncensored. Let's not act like they wouldn't want to, because they would. They would. We all know they would. We all know they would. They all would want to see this shit uncensored. We all know it. If the Amazon Prime version has this shit uncensored, more people are willing to subscribe, because then they have an actual incentive to viewing the episodes, because they get to see the uncut, unfiltered, and unedited footage, compared to YouTube where everything is fucking censored and blurred out. This is like simple shit. What the fuck? Like, who the fuck is the business team behind this? Like, behind VivziePop? They need to be fucking fired. Okay, let's finish this shit.
Basically, we gotta keep doing what we're doing, but bigger.
Bigger. Okay, bigger. That is the most bullshit I have fucking heard ever. You are not doing this to be bigger. You are doing this. Well, I guess you are doing this to be bigger, but bigger in the sense of like your pockets are bigger. Not, I guess, bigger in the sense of like your pockets are bigger. So I mean, if that's what you mean, then I guess you're right.
That is the best news ever!
And
I know, right? That is the best news ever, Charlie. More money.
And the best part is, now we get to fuck around with you guys from time to time.
Well, that's good to know. That helps. That helps prove my It's good to know that it's fucking canon. It's good to know that it's canon, because that proves that proves one of the iceberg topics that I covered in my Hazbin iceberg video, where I talked about okay, at least that clip from them proves that this theory is true. Well, at least this proves that this theory that I covered on my iceberg was accurate. That's good to know. How do you talk casually to yourself? I'm not talking casually. Uh, I'm not talking casually to myself. I'm just commentating on a fucking video. I'm commentating on a fucking video, so they don't fucking so bro, it's called transformative content for a reason. That's why it's called transformative content. It's called transformative content for a fucking reason. You have to actually pause a video and actually commentate throughout it. But I know, wild concept. I know, right, guys? Wild fucking concept. Wild concept that you have to actually commentate on a video you react to. You can't just sit there and just do nothing. Well, at least this proves that this is canon. This is true.
Or in this.
Anyway, all right, let's get back to this bullshit. This is stream, not a video. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're reacting to a fucking video on stream. It doesn't matter. You still have to pause and commentate. You still have to pause and commentate on the video. What? Like what?
Wait, fuck around with who now?
Fuck around with you. Fuck around and find out. Vaku. What the fuck? Vaku. Not a horse. Teviv. What does that say? Oh, Vavnu. What the fuck? Vavnu, not a horse. Teviv.
Well, let's see here.
Wait, what the?
Well, let's see here. Do you know an angle dust or an
Angle dust. Oh, angle dust. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. You're just asking me a stupid question. I'm not mad. You're just asking me a stupid question. So I'm giving you a stupid response.
or an
Whoa! Hey, okay.
or an or an no an angle dust or an
Whoa! Hey,
Or an angle dust.
okay. I get it. Don't give everything
Angle dust.
away. We get it.
you're a fuck.
We get it. Oh shit. Okay. Wait. Okay. Well, that's good to know. It's good to know that in. So you just sound mad. No, I'm not mad. I'm not fucking mad. Not fucking mad. Nope. Nobody is forcing you to stay on the stream. You can click off anytime you want. What the fuck? This is my stream. I'm allowed to talk. I'm allowed to act however I like. This is my channel. If you don't like it, click off. Like, there's an X button, dude. Click it.
Fucking fun sucker. Do you know that?
I'm a girl. It doesn't matter. Well, what difference does it make? It doesn't matter. Imagine if it was the other way around and I told I'm here because I'm bored. Okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm a giver, bitch. I'm giving.
Yeah.
I'm giving. Yeah, just like Diddy and R. Kelly were giving.
And I love that about you, Blitz, really do. But you have to give them something to be surprised by.
Fucking bands. Who the freak is R. Kelly? Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
That's what makes the wait so worth it. Because
So it makes the wait so worth it.
as we all know,
Animation takes a long time.
True.
Anyway, we cannot wait to share more of the Helluverse with you all.
Long time.
Anyway, we cannot wait to share more of the Helluverse with you all. We hope you enjoy more seasons of Helluva Boss
And Hazbin
Nice.
Hotel
on
Prime
Video.
Video.
Thank you all so
I don't know her. R. Kelly is not a her. What the fuck? Okay. All right. I'm a Mexican. I'm a Mexican. What the fuck does you being Mexican have to do with anything? Bro, I'm not, bro. Just look up R. Kelly and you'll know what the fuck I'm talking about.
much for getting us here. Really, we could not.
Like, come on now. There's no way. There's no way you don't know what the fuck. There's no way you don't know what Diddy is. You don't know what R. Kelly is. Come on, you don't know what Diddy is. Come on now. Like, come on, you're just playing.
Not have done this without you. I'm gonna cry.
But that's it? No.
Yep, that is it.
No. Fuck that.
Correct. It was just a circle jerk session.
Let's get spin.
And big. Nice.
Did really nicely.
Fuck waiting. Look, we got Moxie and
Fuck waiting. Nice.
we got Billy and Luna and Stolas and whoever the fuck this guy is.
Jesus Christ. So much chaos caused by one simple character.
Oh, and we got a fucking Baguba and
Also, that guy looks like the fucking... That guy looks like the fucking bug owner from Star Wars. Exactly. You know Diddy because of the... Yeah. R. Kelly did what Diddy did. That's why R. Kelly's in jail. R. Kelly did what Diddy is being accused of doing right now.
oh, and we got fucking Baguba and
Baguba.
Baguba and the cat.
The cat.
Oh,
Nice.
all the same.
Fasego.
Bro, we're having a
Vox. Nice. Oh, yeah, oh, they do not fuck with each other.
good time. Oh, we're family now. Look, we
Fizz. Nice.
got the freaky red guy that everyone.
The freaky red guy. Badass. Yeah, chow. Yeah, basically like that. No. Bro, how have you not seen the video of him like completely throwing around Cassie like a ragdoll? The dude literally took his like. How have you not seen those videos of him like throwing around his partner like a ragdoll? Like, come on now. All right, but anyways, fuck. I love Alistair is definitely my favorite character. I fucking cooked when I dressed up as him. I fucking cooked. I fucking cooked. Fucking cooked when I dressed up as him. I don't know gringos. Bro, they're not fucking gringos. R. Kelly and Diddy are fucking black. What the fuck are you talking about? All right, okay. You keep bringing up that you're Mexican as if it like matters or something. All right, I'm all right, you're acting weird. You're acting weird, bro. Like you're acting weird as hell. Like calm down. Calm down with it. Like tone it down. Gringo. You didn't even spell Didn't even spell gringo right. Oh my god, you didn't even spell gringo right. I don't. Bro, turn it. Okay, you know what? That's enough. I've had enough of you. You are then welcome to disagree with the stream or disagree with some of the stuff that I said. But bro, if you start being disrespectful like that and start saying disrespectful shit, like I'm going to ban you. I'm gonna ban you. I'm gonna kick you off. Like I don't give a fuck. I'm going to ban you. I'm going to ban you if you start saying disrespectful ass shit. I'm fine with people not liking me, not liking the stream. Fine. If you don't like the fucking stream, fine. Go right the fuck ahead. But if you start saying disrespectful shit in chat, I'm gonna fucking ban you. Like, I'm gonna straight up ban you. Like, 1, 2, 3 ban. Like, if you start saying disrespectful ass shit, I'm gonna start banning you. This person tried bringing up like gringos or like the race of these people as if it like makes as if it matters, as if it like what? The people that we're talking about aren't even white, they're black. And majority of people know them from black culture. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Do these people think that like R. Kelly and Diddy just jerked off white people for like majority of their life? No, they were making rap and like albums about like effing the police. That's mostly black stuff. Like what the fuck? Fucking hell. Anyway, where the fuck was I? Anyway, I cosplayed as Alistair. I fucking cooked. I absolutely cooked with that guy. Absolutely fucking cooked. Anyway, all right, let's get back to the stream. Anyway, let's get shit over with. Oh, you can tell how big Mad, Vaggy, and Vox are. Nice. Oh, but wait. You know what's actually interesting is that people actually were saying in my comments. People were actually saying in my comments that Vasego and Alistair are possibly friends, and like this 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 reaction from the two of them collectively proves they're not. Like, look, look at the death stare between these two. These two clearly do not fuck with each other. They are not friends. They do not fuck with each other. Vasego is Alice. Vasego is, but Va- Vasego is Vasego is Stolas' ops, bro. That's bro. These two are ops. These two are fucking ops, bro. They do not fuck with each other.
Hey, wait! Alistair doesn't do well on camera!
Alistair doesn't do well on camera. Oh, yeah, that's true. Nice art. Fuck. If only if it wasn't so fucking pixelated. Fuck, if only if it wasn't so fucking pixelated. What the fuck? Like, I get that's the point. I get that's the point, but I at least have to see what the fuck the art is.
Bye.
All right, that was fucking mid. That was mid at best. That was honestly mid at best. That was basically just a circle jerk to promote a business strategy, that being getting people to subscribe to Amazon Prime more so they could get more money out of them. That's really all it was. The marketing strategies used weren't even that intelligent either. The marketing strategies used weren't really that intelligent either. So I think I'm gonna do a poll. All right, okay. I put the poll in chat. Okay.
Is it recording?
All right, okay. I'll put the poll in chat. Vote right now. Okay, react to other. All right, react to other got one. All right, crap. Wait. Is there any way to turn off? Is there any way to turn off my fucking camera? Okay. Crap. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. How do I? Crap. After a while, it gets kind of annoying to put this thing on. So I'm just gonna have the camera pointed to the wall. You're just gonna have to. Crap. Okay, wait. I'm gonna have it pointed up so I can just. React. Wait. Wait. 3 votes. Wait. Oh shit. Okay. Wait. All right. Very well. Since three. Since. All right. Okay. All right. Give me 30. Give me 30 seconds. And we can get started. All right. Let us clap as democracy ends. Crap. There has been Helluva videos like fucking. All right. Give me 30 seconds, and then we can get fucking started. Okay, I apologize for the fucking delay. Sorry, it's just like taking me a fucking while. Oh, it's only been like 5 minutes. Okay, it's only been 5 minutes since the poll's been out. Okay. Okay. Fuck. All right, let's get this shit. Let's get this shit on the road. Okay. All right, let's go. Just stop is someone that all right, Just Stop is someone that I personally I enjoy. Just Stop's content is decent. I would say there are things that I'm critical of and I don't agree with. He definitely says some things that need criticism, but overall his takes are fine. His takes are relatively okay. All right, okay. All right, shout out to the 4 people that are here. Sorry, I'm not gonna be on. I don't think I'm gonna be on camera this time. Maybe I might be on it for like halfway. But anyway,
"2019. It feels like such a long time ago. 4.5 years to be exact, but man, oh man, I remember it just as vividly as yesterday. It was an extra damp autumn that year. Didn't have much to do in my sleepy little Iowa town besides stand around in the pouring rain, so being the dorky 15-year-old with a besides it was an extra damp autumn that year. Didn't have much to do in my sleepy little Iowa town.
Iowa Town. Wait, Iowa Town. I thought this guy was from the UK. Isn't this guy like in the UK? Wait, this guy lives in America? Wait, does this guy live in America? I thought I thought this guy lived like in the UK. What the fuck? Wait, Iowa. I thought this guy lived in the UK. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Anyway, all right.
Besides stand around in the pouring rain, so being the dorky 15-year-old with a passable understanding of Sony Vegas that I was, I decided to stay in and make one of my first popular cartoon-related videos. A commentary-style response to a review of the, at the time, new popular indie animated pilot, Hazbin. Now, the review itself, a rant on the series by... I'm trying to think of a term that would describe this guy without coming off mean.
Dumbass.
Professional cringe analyst, that still sounds like I'm insulting him. It was PK Russell, okay? PK Russell did a big roast of the show.
I mean, you have his name there anyway. You may as well name drop him.
Oh, a lot of people said it was bad for a bunch of reasons.
Oh shit, and there's that. Oh shit, and there's this dude. Oh shit, and there's this dude fucking Cartoonshi.
Bad for a bunch of reasons, and to be honest, one of them was me. Yeah, I was a big fan of the pilot at the time who thought his points were garbage, so I made this edited, underexplained react.
Yeah, but like it wasn't a very good. PK Russell kind of a dumbass in a way.
Reactionary video in, I think, 2 days, and, you know, looking back, I gotta say, I hit it on the goddamn head, man. That review is a 2-pack of ass! I watched it again, like, just now to see if I was being too harsh or something, but no, dude, no. I watched it again, like, just now to see if I was being too harsh or something, but no, dude, no. It's really bad. It's unfair. It's annoying. It's downright head-scratching at times. I have no idea how anyone could have thought that mess of a critique would be well-received. And it's...
Probably because he wasn't actually... I mean, yeah, but like... PK Russell already made a video where he owned up to the video being bad, so it's like at this point, like... PK Russell, like, admitted the video was bad, like, fucking, like... PK Russell talked about... Where is it? Here it is. But... Okay, but like... PK Russell's already admitted to like back in 2023, he's already... PK Russell in 23 already admitted the video was bad, so it's like, you're just you are just beating a dead horse at this point. You are just beating a fucking dead horse. Like PK Russell is already PK Russell's on his fucking knees, and you're sitting there fucking smacking the shit out of him when he's already fucking on the ground, and you're just sitting there fucking curb stomping him. Like, bro, he's already owned up to the video being bad. Like, what more do you want? He talked about this mistake and owned up to it. Like maybe like almost a year before. Wait, when did this video come out? When did this video come out? When did this video come out? Almost. Fuck. Here we go. Almost like more than, well, okay, fine, maybe not a year, but like at least a good amount of months before this video came out. Like are you not gonna include the fact that he owned up to this? Like, he owned up to this mistake. He wasn't trying to... He owned up to this mistake. So it's like, what more do you want from him? He admitted the video was shit and conceded. Like, are you just not going to acknowledge that? Are you just not gonna acknowledge that he owned up to this. Like, if you think the apology is shit, like, can you explain why?
It's especially fascinating in the case of Hazbin Hotel, as, in retrospect, the pilot isn't that great. It was a major step forward for indie animation, no arguing there.
True.
Doors opened up, it was a real trailblazer and all.
Yeah, that's true. It blew up on YouTube, hella.
But as a pilot, it's incredibly flawed. There are several avenues he could have taken to criticize the show.
That is true. Okay. He's already owned up to this video being bad, so
was the first major review of Hazbin to garner traction online. It sort of set the tone for how the fandom would view criticism of the show moving forward. Hostility.
That's not true. That is not true at all. That is not true at all. I have been consistently critical of Viv's. That is not sup. Yo, what's up, Ramos? I think I've seen you before, but what's good? Oh, let me guess, it's you, right? Oh, let me guess, it's fucking you. Let me guess this. Let me guess. This is Sopa64 on an alt account. I don't know whether I'm. Look. Just don't. Look, I won't ban you. Look, it's fine. Look. I'm not gonna tell you how to feel or how to act or how to behave. I would never tell you how to act or behave. So don't tell me how to act or how to behave on stream. Like, don't like I'm not gonna tell you I'm not gonna tell you how to behave or how to act as an individual. So don't tell me just because I'm streaming how to act or how to behave. I can be however I want. It doesn't matter. Okay. This unrelenting hostility argument is a load of shit. I've been critical of VivziePop's work all the time, and I've never had. Granted, Just Stop has more of a bigger audience than I do, but still, I've had videos blow up where I've been critical of the show, and I haven't had like unrelenting hostility towards me. Like, I literally promote my content in Reddit forums dedicated to VivziePop, and like I don't yeah, well, yeah, maybe. I just said, "Are you mad?" And you sound mad. Like, okay, like even if I am, why does that matter? Why does that matter? Why does that matter? Even if I am mad, why does that matter? Why? You're on my stream. I'm allowed to act however I'm allowed to act however I want. Why do I have to present myself in a way that's what you want? Why? I would never tell you how to act or how to behave. So why do you get to tell me that? Is the criticism just, "Oh, you sound mad"? That's it? That's it? The criticism is just, "You sound mad"? That's it? How does me being mad debunk anything that I've said? How? How does me being mad debunk anything that I've said or done?
And that sadly hasn't died down in the slightest.
Not true. I've been critical of this show and I haven't had like crazy like fan. Oh god, really?
In fact, it may be worse than ever before. At least at the start, all you had to worry about was pissing off fans of the pilots.
Bro, who fucking cares, dude? It's fucking online. Gee, who cares? It's online. Just Just block him and delete them from your comments if it pisses you off so much.
Whereas nowadays, when people criticize anything made by the series creator VivziePop, there's always this
Who fucking care? Who cares? Whoever fucking care. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? It's just a bunch of nobodies in the comment section. Who fucking cares?
set of people who think they're being nitpicky and unfair when usually they aren't. And look, I get it. That PK video really is the epitome of bad faith and competence.
That's true. Again, he already apologized for this, so you're just bludgeoning someone for shit they've already taken accountability for.
And there have been plenty of poorly written videos exactly like it since. But we also have to remember that just because one person's negative thoughts on a work were invalid, that doesn't mean it's perfect. Giving the pilot a cursory glance a few weeks ago, I found several serious issues you could fairly point out. The pacing's all over the place, the art direction is stylized but impractical.
That is true.
The actual concept, that being the Princess of Hell redeeming sinners at a hotel, isn't properly showcased whatsoever. My point is, it isn't and has never been totally flawless, no matter how stupid some complaints of the thing have been.
That is true.
So, while I might have negative things to say in this video, I want you all to know that it isn't coming from a place of malice.
Yeah, exactly. I simply thought I was having a coke. Fine. Well, yeah, okay. Whatever, it doesn't even matter. Look, it doesn't even matter. Whatever. People come off differently in text than they come off in actual conversation. Whatever. I just don't care. I just don't fucking care anymore. I just don't fucking care. Like I've literally fucking this is ridiculous. I've banned somebody and they've now come back on an alt sniffing the syrup again. This is ridiculous. Like I'm just not like this is ridiculous.
To the contrary, I've been anticipating Hazbin.
That art looks good.
I've been anticipating Hazbin from the moment A24 and Amazon picked it up for a full series. As there's so much potential in the premise, and the passion is there.
The passion is there, but it's not like I'm not gonna say that this show is completely like a complete disaster because it's not. There are good parts about this show. It's not a complete disaster, but it's definitely awful.
It wouldn't have gotten where it is today if Vivian Medrano and her team didn't.
That is true.
Work their
also nice nails. Nice black nails. Those look nice as fuck.
This is off. No matter what I got to.
Wait, is this? Wait, whoa! This is KTL. Whoa, this is KTLA. Whoa, that's crazy. Oh shit! Oh shit! She was on an actual news program. That's cool.
To say about her work, I have major respect for her as a creative.
Wait, did she actually sing?
And a hardworking individual. She has many admirable traits in spite of her.
Yeah, nice black nails though.
Flaws, and she's been developing this concept for 10 years. So
that is true.
That
is true. I don't really feel like shitting on someone's. I don't feel like completely shitting on someone's work, especially when they've gone through that much effort to go through it. Like, if the art you're making is like criminal, then like fine, that's one. If the art you're making is criminal, that's one thing. But like, I don't enjoy shitting on someone else's work. Like, just for the hell of it.
Optimistic she could bring her vision of the show to reality. Plus, with the help of a major studio and industry professionals through almost 4 years of production.
Yeah. It had 4 years of production and it had 4 years of production and it was subpar at best.
There's no doubt in my mind that her usual
writing
quirk probably wouldn't make it through to the end. So I was
That's true.
cautiously hyped the more and more we started hearing leading.
Yeah, but as they revealed within the Amazon thing, they were like, well, Amazon Prime like barely manages anything. Just Sounding Mad doesn't exactly do exactly. That's my point. That's my point. That's my point, Azuki. That's my point, Ramos. That's my fucking point. You're mentioning that I'm mad as if that's supposed to as if that's supposed to change the points that I'm making. But people may see. I don't. Yeah, and I don't care if they see me as a crazy person. I don't care. That doesn't debunk what I'm saying. Their opinion isn't valued. I don't care about their 2 cents. I don't care. I'm not here to fucking I'm not here to bend the knee and have people be like, "Oh, how will people think about me? How will people think about me?" Like, I don't care.
Up to release. As a fan of the indie talent, I was sad to see
If people want to think that way, that's fine. They just don't. They just that fine. I don't care. Like, it's bad faith.
the old VAs go, but as a musical theater kid, seeing them getting Broadway stars
A broad of theater kid, nice.
as replacements, I'm not even gonna
Yeah, Blake Roman is fire.
pretend I wouldn't jump at the chance to do the same. That's rad. And aside from that, with
Yeah, the guy who plays Alistair is very talented.
with the reveal trailer, we found out the series had already been picked up for a second season.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course it's coming. Of course, it's a second season. Yeah, because generally a second season is always going to come after a first season. Even Velma got a second season, and that show was shit.
Which was pretty cool to see.
A second season was being announced is just standard.
Like, normally I'd have my reservations about a new series preemptively getting 2 seasons. Looking at you, Clone High season 3. But for Hazbin, I'd say I was more happy than worried for the reason that besides having a pre-established fan base to keep the series going either way, Medrano and crew clearly have a lot to say. So the security of a second season can really help a team relax and focus on what's in front of them. They don't gotta be quite as reluctant about adding plot threads meant to be resolved in a season 2 that never comes. There's a luxury to experiment and space things out, so it doesn't end up feeling too crowded. And
that's true.
For a serialized show like Hazbin, that sounds perfect. All that was missing the final piece of the puzzle, if you will, was the number of episodes that first season would be.
Yeah, and this is definitely the best criticism throughout this. And I knew that you didn't care. I just want. I don't help. Help me by how? What the fuck? Look, you're already on an alt, like, bro. You wanted to try. Look, I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible. The best way you can help is simply clicking off this stream. That's it, okay? I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it how it is.
A piece of info that's very important as
What the fuck?
As regardless of how many seasons it ends up getting, that first set of stories is going to be the foundation of everything else to follow. So a solid episode count would give a good picture for what to expect at the start. 16.
Yeah, 8 episodes was ridiculous. 8 episodes was ridiculous. Like 10, even 10 or 12 would have been fine. 10 or 12 would have been fine.
To 24 could have room for a bigger story. 13 to 10 might stick to being character driven with hints at more to come.
That's true.
There was a
13 to I think 12 to 10 is a good amount
of wiggle room for how long it could potentially be, or so I thought until the series officially came out in January and it was revealed they had a grand total of there's something wrong with my script. Yeah, but it says 8 episodes. There's no way that... Oh, follow. Is that a yes nod or a no nod? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so follow me here. Madrano has always...
Yeah, that's correct. 8 episodes is fucking ridiculous. 8 episodes is ridiculous. Like in 8 episodes in a season, like you're jumbling up so much content. It's like ridiculous.
Been an artist that loves her ideas. She adores adding any and all the lore, characters, or minute little details she can think of to her
Yeah, and she should have done that by stretching out the episodes.
series. And if there's one thing I've learned from her other main project of the past couple of years, Helluva Boss, it's that she can't handle not using them as soon as humanly possible.
That is true. That is true. She is very hyper.
If she has a character or lore piece or plot point she wants to add to the mix, she will. And on the surface, that doesn't sound like a problem. To some...
It's a problem when you're jumbling them up so compactly like that. That's when it's a problem.
Someone who doesn't know her work, they may not understand why that episode count made me so terrified. But
I mean, it made the general people terrified in a way because it was like, how are you gonna jumble up all this content in like, one swig?
let me repeat, she needs to add every detail. Not one can be left on the cutting room floor. For example, Helluva Boss...
Yeah, and I get this is a decent criticism. This is like a decent criticism. That being that like you're not gonna be able to put all the like
was originally pitched as a series about contract killers in hell taking hits out on people in the living world. That was the pitch, and you could reasonably say they more or less stuck to it for the first 5 episodes. Sure, every once in a while there were slight deviations, mostly when they had to protect their ticket to the living world, a demon prince the main character slept with for favors, but they will fit within the general bounds of the premise. That is, until episode 6 came around, where Madrano introduced the thought of a more complicated relationship between the main character Blitz and the Royal Stolen.
Yeah, and I feel like that was 3, 4. Look, I don't more on my cycle to try. What? What are you talking? Okay, this is just ridiculous. Like, why am I like? And everyone's just so. Why am I to try until you? What? Bro, I don't. Why are you comparing? Why are you comparing like clicking off of a stream to real life? Like what? Like what the what? What? I don't know you and you don't know me. I don't know why you're acting like you know me. If my channel got deleted the next day, you would pretend you would forget I even existed. I don't know why you're like acting like you somehow know me. Like I don't know you. Like it's fucking this is just weird.
And now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with adding a subplot to the series that provides additional depth for the characters. That's perfectly fine. But it wasn't just a subplot. Now,
Yeah, it wasn't a subplot. They for some reason thought that like this little relationship should take over the whole story, which was one of the worst decisions I've ever fucking heard.
was it? No, it became the focus of the episode after that, and the tangential focus of the episode after that, and the focus of the episode after that, and the semi-focus of the episode after that. It and the character of Stolas quickly became so integral to the plot of the show, we didn't get another episode relating to the pitch until season 2, episode 5. An episode that, mind you, came out 9 episodes and 2.5 years after the last one. And it wasn't the only new subplot either. Disregarding the boatload of villains they've set up to come back who haven't over the years, season 1, episode 7 introduced us to the duo of Fizzaroli and Osmodius, who, after getting a spotlight in that episode, return as basically the main leads of season 2, episode 6, alongside Blitz and Stolas again. And to be fair, this was sort of expected. Fizzaroli was set up from early on to be an integral part of Blitz's childhood, so it made sense that he eventually came back. What didn't really make sense, though, was that following
I don't. Does this even have to do with Hazbin Hotel? Like, can we just? What does it have to? What is it?
Really not at all. Let me explain. So, the lore of Hazbin, as outlined in the opening exposition dump of the first episode, is that a portion of all sinners are purged every year in rituals by heaven called exterminations, where they die in hell, I guess. The details
True.
aren't important. All you need to know is that a lot of Hell's population gets wiped out, and the Princess of Hell, Charlie, wants to change that by redeeming sinners so they can avoid it. See, she thinks the only reason heaven does the exterminations is that they don't have any other method to combat overpopulation. So,
Well, that, and also because most people in hell are bad people.
if even one soul can be redeemed, that means heaven will shift their focus to redemption
Yeah, but then heaven would. That's a stupid plan because then heaven would get overpopulated too.
as an alternative. Thus, in this first season, she's trying to prove the hotel's legit before the next extermination, which is happening twice as quickly as usual due to an angel secretly having been found dead by heaven. The first
Yo.
time they've ever seen such a thing happen in 10,000
Oh yeah, because they can only be killed by angelic weapons.
years. That's the basic idea we get from episode 1, and so far so good, right? Charlie has a goal she wants to achieve, a motivation to get it done quickly, and there's an added mystery element that could come back later. All that's left to do is do what the show is billed as and help out her current guest, a drug-addicted adult film star by the name of Angel Dust, with the help of her ragtag hotel staff. But oh no. No, you poor, sweet summer child, no. That is not how it goes at all. Maybe in an alternate universe where the series had more time or less plot to cram in, that could have been the outcome, but woefully for all of us, we do not live
Sorry for being. Oh my god.
in that world. In reality, Medrano and crew couldn't compromise on how to balance the story and characters, so it led to an outcome I like to call Diet Steven Universe. And before you ask, no, that's not a dig at the gay rep, okay? It's a dig
Oh god.
at the pacing and the importance of plot in a serialized show. So, in case you're out of the know, Steven Universe is this Cartoon Network series that's had to endure a fairly sizable load of criticism over the years.
Yeah, but most of the criticism was valid. I mean, most of the criticism was fine. Like Lily Orchard's criticism was awful.
Sometimes it was justified, often it wasn't, but one of the most mind-numbing complaints I ever heard about the show was that it didn't get
What is the point of this, like, Steven like, can we just focus on Hazbin?
heavy sections. Looking at the timeline of what happens when and where in each episode, I think it's obvious that prior to them getting a solid episode count, there was already a clear, pre-planned list of major events, setups, and twists that had to happen leading up to the finale. They needed to hit certain quotas to make sure it all came together decently.
That is true. They did need a lot of the conflict resolution felt super forced
In that big final showdown. But by virtue of them having such a small number of episodes and so little willingness to cut anything out, those same incident setups and twists often overwhelm the character drama and lead to
That is true.
unsatisfying conclusions. You want to know who killed that angel? It was this girl, Hollow Knight.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. It's not even creatively revealed at all. They don't even creatively reveal that she killed him.
When do we meet her? Episode 3. You want to know who killed that angel? It was this girl,
Hollow Knight. Oh my god. Oh yeah, that does look like Hollow Knight.
When do we meet her? Episode 3. When do we find out she killed the angel? Episode 3. Did she have any connection to the rest of the cast? No. Does she become relevant to any of the cast afterwards? Yes. In her next appearance,
Oh yeah, she trains Vaggie.
4 episodes later, where she teaches the cast how to kill angels for the final battle. And in that same episode, her information is used by Alistair, one of the hotel staff, to make a deal with Charlie. That's all poor Hollow Knight is. A plot device. Could have been something if she were, well, more of a character. Would have made that twist, actually come off like a twist with substance and weight and shit, but there isn't any room to slow down. Before you can process that development, the show is already on to the next one with another character who equally doesn't matter or gets screen time until they can be useful to the plot. And that's how it is across the entire season. Episode 2, for instance, is mainly about the rivalry between Alistair and Vox, who's
Their rivalry was definitely their rivalry was not entertaining at all. Like all it reminded me of was some watered down PewDiePie versus T-Series stuff. Like that's all it reminded me of.
Vox? Some guy. Why does
Yeah. The only reason he wants to get back at Alistair is because Alistair kicked his ass. That's literally it. Because he got taken to task by Alistair. That's it. That's literally it. What makes him what? That's it?
he matter? He doesn't. No,
Correct, he does not matter.
seriously.
You serve no purpose.
He gets a whole B plot complete with a musical
You should delete yourself right now.
number about his one-sided rivalry with Alistair, and there's this implication that he wants to stop him and Charlie from making a deal, but
Which he never does. He never does.
then he doesn't do anything
Yeah, that's true. He was too pussy to do it. At least Valentino had the balls to bring the smoke.
for the rest of the season. He just does his plot-related job of inadvertently giving the hotel another guest, the failed inventor and wannabe villain Sir Pentious, and then he goes off to the corner to wait for his chance.
And then he says, you should end yourself right now.
At apparently being the main villain of season 2, whenever that is. Then, in episode 5, they really
Yeah. And that's my main problem, because it's if the characters have already started out shit, then I'm not gonna be really hyped to really care about them any further.
need to move the plot along to get to that final fight, so to speed up Charlie finding the tools to confront Heaven directly, they out of nowhere have her go, the hotel isn't working! I know it's been the focus of barely an episode and a half so far, so I
Yeah, no wonder why.
get why you wouldn't understand, but technically, in universe time, it's literally been 4 months! There isn't much time
4 months is crazy.
left. I guess I'll have to call my deadbeat dad and speedrun solving our long
What's crazy is that they try and portray Charlie's dad as being fucking deadbeat, but bro, in the pilot, she tried calling her mom, and her mom refused to pick up the phone. Her mom refused to pick up the phone, and left her on red, and then never decided to help her. So it's how is the dad the deadbeat? If anything, the mom is the deadbeat. If anything, the mom is neglectful.
long-standing emotional dissonance. Boy, it sure is convenient that I was able to make up with my dad so fast. If I hadn't,
Yep, exactly.
I wouldn't have gone to heaven and provoked the angels into coming to my hotel, setting up the final conflict of the first season. Thanks, Dad. And third,
Yep, exactly. That they're didn't this dad leave Charlie for years and years and years? How does she just magically trust him now? But I guess that makes sense because Charlie was willing to I guess somewhat trust Alistair.
verse, same as the first. Once his usefulness to the plot is gone, he fucks off until he can save the day midway that final battle. Could have been there from the beginning. It's not like he had anything else going on, and logically, it would have made sense that he'd want to keep his daughter from possibly dying to help her dream, but
Correct.
narratively, that wouldn't have been as compelling, since Lucifer wins right away, and his presence most likely would.
Yeah, that's true. They portrayed Lucifer as way too overpowering. They should have made it a much more fair fight between Lucifer and Adam.
Have removed the need for Pentious' sacrifice. It just wouldn't do. We had to.
Exactly. We didn't need Pentious to die because Lucifer would have just came in and kicked everybody's fucking ass.
Wait for the rest of the cast to get.
We didn't have to wait for Charlie to evolve either because her evolution was fucking useless.
Get their asses beat so that him showing up and winning effortlessly could be more impactful.
Yeah, Nice. He's taking a piss because it wasn't impactful.
That's why he doesn't show up sooner and has no excuse for why. He's another narrative tool. Granted, he isn't nearly as flat as the other two in terms of complexity, but
I mean, he's as flat as his chest.
still, he ultimately fulfills the same function as the others. They serve their purpose, they vanish.
Exactly. Yeah, they're basically just like filler. They're filler characters. It's just they're characters there purely for pacing.
Without complaining, they come back when needed. They're the ideal office workers. It's fine as long as it's in service of getting to that finish line, right? Who cares?
Yeah, yeah. This show unironically took the it's about the journey thing way too seriously.
About where they go or what they do or why we should care about them out of an immediate plot-related context. It's fine! Sure, if this season had more episodes to integrate them, they could have been less incidental or had some level of natural build-up before serving their main purpose in the story, but the crew didn't have time for that, and yeah, if they couldn't give those supposedly important characters the proper time they deserved, it probably would have been better if they were saved for later to put the focus elsewhere, like, I don't know, the hotel and its patrons, wild thought, but we needed them to get to the finale! We could have given their roles to already established characters or changed the season plans knowing the limitations of our runtime, but we didn't, so and hey, when all's said and done, that finale great, Pentious sacrificing himself, Adam, the head of the Angel Army, getting beaten by Lucifer.
Yeah, they definitely rushed. They rushed Adam as a character.
And killed by a goofy side character. The imagery of the hotel our protagonists have come to know as home being destroyed and subsequently rebuilt, going from
and then they're able to like rebuild the hotel out of fucking nowhere, like as if it was like nothing.
Just an abandoned building to a monument representing the bonds these characters have formed over the season. Isn't it all so grand? Yeah.
Yeah, no effort.
It is. It's a great ending for a better version of this show. One where Charlie connected with anyone other than her pre-established girlfriend Vaggie, or the hotel itself meant anything to any of them. And them not organically accomplishing either is especially egregious considering I know what they're going for. They want the hotel to be the Guildhall in Fairy Tale. Safe place where they can relax and be themselves, hang out with people.
Yeah, but then I think yeah, this movie tries to present itself as like a utopia, despite being in like heaven, and like how do you have a utopia in heaven?
People they genuinely care about. A structure embodying the bonds they share and the help it's given them, making them want to fight for it alongside their fellow patrons when the angels intend on destroying it. I see the objective, but there are two important things keeping me from going along with it. The cast having a deep connection to the hotel itself, and them having a deep connection to one another. Both of these things are needed for this ending to click, but I don't think this season does a good job convincing us of either. And confusingly, in the case of the hotel, it sort of goes for the opposite effect. Though I could get if you didn't notice due to how, to reiterate, it is barely utilized or discussed in terms of its effectiveness. Oh, we hear it discussed plenty as a concept, how Charlie plans to use it, how she wants Heaven to give it a chance, etc., but we never hear or see how the hotel itself is affecting Angel and Pentious in a positive way other than in episode 5, where Charlie is flipping out over why it isn't. No, you didn't hear me wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong. They briefly stated at the start of episode 5 that the hotel wasn't working like it should or helping the patrons. And at this phase in the
Exactly. But they don't explain why it's not helping the patrons. Especially because like how like can you explain you only have 2 patrons? Like how are you fucking this up?
story that tracked with what we've been shown. Among the
Of course the like it's not surprising that the hotel isn't fucking working because you only have two clients.
shockingly few scenes there are of Charlie attempting to redeem Angel and Pentious, there is one idea that's plainly
Yeah. When she redeems, majority of the time it's just kind of like an overly played skit.
communicated. She does not know what she's doing. Charlie is
True.
completely out of her depth. Her deepest understanding of what it means to be redeemed.
Well, yeah, because in a way she's from like she's in a way from like a point of view where this issue this issue is never gonna affect her. This issue is never going to affect her. This issue will never impact or affect her. Like this issue will never impact Charlie or affect her, like straight up. If the extermination happens, Charlie's just gonna be sitting safe in a hotel tower, and just living lavishly.
Goes about as far as don't do drugs or have sex before marriage, and you'll be good. That's
Which is what you and yeah, that's subjective, because you're assuming that every person is there because they're like a drug addict and they're like a infidel.
her mindsets. It's obvious she wants to help people, but she has no clue how to do it. There's
True.
no doubt that's the message being implied in these first few episodes. And to be honest, it's a great jumping off point. Imagine all the conversations that could be had about how impersonal and damaging her process is.
Yeah, that's true.
The ramifications of defining a person by their current problems over understanding where the need to indulge in that behavior comes from.
That's true.
It would have opened up so many opportunities for character growth from not only the patrons, but Charlie too, making her question whether she should be running the hotel in the first.
That is true. That is true, because then she could be like, well, I'm not in, because Charlie herself isn't even an addict. So like, how is she gonna, like, how would she know how to like help an addict with their addiction if she doesn't even know like what to do herself?
Place. And with how adamant the early season was about showcasing the stupidity of her methods, I thought that was the direction they were taking, but weirdly, it's not. Those conversations don't happen. That negative effect isn't shown. Charlie
Yeah, that's true.
doesn't get called
Yeah, Charlie's just forgiven immediately.
out at any stage. If anything, she's kind of validated. I mean, like I said, in episode 5, it starts with her freaking out that the hotel isn't working, but her solution to this isn't
Exactly. It starts out with her saying the hotel is not working, but then never showcasing to us like how the hotel is not working. Like, can you show us an example of the hotel not working? Like,
I should switch up my methods, or I need to connect with the patrons better. It's, I need to make my case to a higher authority in heaven, but not in the, I'm in way over my head, I should ask heaven what it takes to be redeemed type of way you'd expect. No, she goes there to prove that the hotel does work. Yeah, she does a complete 180 on her opinion out of nowhere.
yeah, and then she uses Angel Dust as like one example of him being good, as if that's supposed to like counter all the bad shit he's done.
As if her freaking out over the hotel failing never happened. And what's stranger still is that no one points this out. There isn't a single character that acknowledges she basically deflected the question. They all just go along with the notion like, of course, that's what we needed to do.
Well, yeah, because in a way, every single hotel member is just a yes man. Is either a yes man or an asshole. They're either a yes man that's there to massage Charlie's ego, or they're just like Husker and they just don't give a fuck. And Charlie obviously is going to listen to the yes men rather than someone who just doesn't give a fuck.
Talk to heaven. And before you know it, she's trying to plead her case that the hotel works and her patrons have bettered themselves as a result of it. All that buildup implying she'd been going about this the wrong way doesn't amount to anything. She even goes as far as to have them look at Angel Dust's actions during a night out to determine if he's improved. And initially, in reaction to the setup, I thought, oh, I get it. Charlie's in denial about the effectiveness of the hotel, and that's
Yeah, but in a way, like, Angel Dust doing like one set of good actions. Angel Dust doing one set of good actions is not going to negate all the other bad shit he's done throughout his life. Like, if I rob a bank, it doesn't. If I rob a bank, it doesn't make me a good person just because I worked for charity one time.
going to come through when Heaven sees that Angel hasn't gotten better. After all, he only stopped denying he had problems in episode 4, and in episode 5, he's apparently still got drug stashes, meaning he clearly hasn't made much progress. So the only logical explanation for why Charlie would
that was a pretty stupid line for the Hazbin team to put in.
Think otherwise is that she's actively deluding herself. That must be why she didn't
Which could be likely.
question her methods when faced with the reality of the hotel not working. She doesn't want to admit that anything about her approach is wrong or damaging, and this trial is going to be what forces her to concede. She'll see firsthand that Angel hasn't improved, Heaven will deny her plea, she'll come back to hell a broken person believing she's a failure.
Which is not what
She'll
happened.
realize her faults before the extermination. She'll
And even then, with Angel Dust improving, it's not like heaven is like in their right to like be skeptical, because one act of good behavior will not negate the other bad shit this person's done.
apologize to Angel and the others for not realizing sooner, and they'll all stay to protect the hotel, seeing she's finally come to her senses. That's why they protect the hotel in the finale. It all makes sense now. No, wait. That isn't what happens. Not at all. Because Charlie doesn't fail to prove that Angel has changed. How is that possible, you ask? Well, contrary to everything I just said, it turns out that Angel has indeed mostly gotten over his vices. When
How?
did he find the time to recover so drastically over such a non-existent time frame? Who knows? This series is a massive cluster.
Exactly. This this entire series feels like an addict being in an alternative universe, telling someone to stop being addicted, and then being shocked when the person that they've been telling them to stop like doesn't do it. Like to them, it's just telling them to stop doing drugs is somehow just magically gonna make them not do drugs.
Fuck of a timeline if there ever was one, so I can never tell how much time passes between each episode. At the start, they say there's 6 months to go, then episode 2 and 3 are right after, but episode 4 says there isn't much time, episode 5 says there's only a few months, episode 6...
Yeah, I think sub lyric. I think the timeline being messed up is a fact is because like Vivzy Pop herself doesn't. Vivzy Pop needs to have like a team member who checks the continuity of like her writing or her work. She needs to have someone who checks the continuity of her script writing or work. I think that's the problem. She doesn't have someone who like actually proofreads this shit and then goes, "Oh, well, this is a contradiction. This is a contradiction. This is a continuity error." You know that type of shit. This is the plot hole. This is like Vivzy Pop needs someone who checks that.
6 says there's 1 month. I couldn't tell you for the life of me when Angel got better off screen or how long it took, but I can tell you this much. I know precisely why his arc jumped ahead so far so quickly.
Because there's 8 episodes and the pacing is sloppy.
Yeah, pacing. Remember that? When
Nice.
I mentioned how this series will kneecap any potentially meaningful shit to move on to the next predetermined plot points?
Yep, and that's what happens when you only have 8 episodes. You have to jumble up a bunch of shit.
Yep, here it is again. You see, going back to that ever so sought after final battle of the hotel fighting off angels, in order for it to happen, Charlie first needed to provoke them into targeting her. So, boom, that's what the trial's for. Charlie has to prove sinners can be redeemed, so heaven will deny her anyway, proving the game was rigged from the start, and her only remaining option to stop the extermination is to fight. But, oh no! There isn't enough time for Angel to show consistent, meaningful growth leading up to this episode. That won't do. The plot demands he be further along in his development. So, to make sure it goes as intended, they do a little magic trick. 1 second, Angel has severe issues but can admit to them. The next, he's totally drug-free and openly
Yep, exactly.
caring. Fucking incredible.
Yeah. And this dude was almost about to get himself, like, roofied.
It's got all the time-saving bullshit of the other plot sacrifices, reducing Angel's progress to yet another narrative tool, but in addition to that, it also sort of implies, no, like bullshit, it declares that the hotel works. And don't you try to tell me that it doesn't.
It does. No,
Trial is to
I
prove
won't challenge you on that.
if the hotel can redeem sinners. Angel is used as evidence for how well the hotel...
Which again, Angel was Angel doing one act doesn't redeem him of like all the shitty things he's done. Like that doesn't fix his like shitty behavior. Like you were good, like you were good this one isolated time. Like even the worst dictators and worst criminals in the world like aren't bad people all the time. They're not evil people. They're not evil people. They have a conscience.
Works. He's intentionally been sped along in his growth to show that he's improved thanks to the hotel. Another member of the staff says the hotel isn't a setback in his life. And as he's hanging out with his friend, he tries to recruit her for the hotel. Pretty much everything in episode 6 is telling the audience that the hotel does its job and Angel is thankful for it, despite all our exposure to the hotel hinting the opposite. And it doesn't stop there either. In fact, fact, the series continues validating the hotel on a meta level by having it so in the finale, after Pinchas sacrifices himself, a move implied to be the result of his never properly showcased improvements we didn't see
Oh yeah, they also rushed Pench's love for Cherry Bomb.
him make at the hotel. He goes to heaven. That's right. After not even seeing him go through any kind of progress over the series, Pinchas goes to heaven.
I mean, I guess sacrifice is like a thing that would get you to heaven, I guess. Like, because you would be self-serving.
Implying that Charlie's methods worked on him. Do you want
Yeah, exactly. They all they do is just say, it worked.
me to think her tactics work or not, show? Everything up to episode 5 implied they weren't working and Charlie was incompetent. That was the show.
Yep.
And I'm guessing that at some point,
The switch up is fucking
same
crazy.
as Angel Dust, that was gonna be her arc. That Charlie needs to get rid of the youth counselor shit and really dig deep if she wants to connect with the patrons. That's
Yeah, that's the problem. This show consistently gasses Charlie's ego too much.
why it's the highlight of the first batch of episodes. It was going to be the thing that defined her character and solidified the hotel as being viable. But again, same as Angel, Hazbin doesn't have enough time for that. By the time they'd set up how the hotel
Yeah, and that's what happens when you have 8 episodes.
wasn't working, they needed it to be working. So suddenly, in a flash, it was. And that whole plot thread was thrown to the wolves. Or in other words, the show got so caught up in moving the plot forward, hitting all the beats to get to that fucking golden goose of a finale no matter what it took, they just forgot. There's no better
I wouldn't say they forgot. It's more of a just not caring.
word to describe this. The show forgot that she was meant to be called out, since for the finale to work, everyone had to be positively affected by the hotel and willing to die for it. They couldn't have a discussion.
Oh yeah. And they didn't even like give the cannibal people a reason of like being good to like protect the hotel. All they said to the cannibal people was like saying shit like motivating them to be better by like just being just like their idea of them being good people was just like revamping the hotel.
About the hotel not working right before defending it with their lives, that wouldn't make any sense. So second verse, same as the first, they performed their little magic trick. 1 second, Charlie can't do shit and the hotel doesn't mean anything to anyone living there. The next, her methods work so well and everyone is so bonded to it, they're willing to fight for and rebuild it bigger than ever, so she can continue not being able to help more people until the plot randomly says she can. And you want to know the worst parts? That whole extended rant there only gave an argument for why angels shouldn't be willing to die for heaven. One character. That shit helped me argue against the legitimacy of one character believing in the hotel. Well, on to the rest of them. But first off, let's briefly mention the characters who, rationally speaking, should believe in the hotel, just to add a bit of distinction here. We gotta be fair.
That's fair.
Least surprisingly, you've got Charlie, the main protagonist. It's
Yep.
her dream for the hotel to work, so
Yeah.
her defending
And
it
then you
is
got
symbolically
Vaggie, the
same as her
girlfriend.
defending her dream. A dream that's shared by her girlfriend, Vaggie,
Yep.
who's willing to fight for whatever Charlie believes in for fairly obvious reasons,
Yep.
alongside
Like-
Lucifer, who's
yeah.
less there to protect the hotel,
Yeah, and there to protect his daughter.
but his daughter from being killed. After them, there's Alistair, the shady character who supposedly helps Charlie to have a good time watching the hotel fail. We actually don't quite know his motivation for protecting the hotel with his life, but episode 5 implies he does have one that he doesn't want to talk about, so I'll take Madrano's word there. I'll also throw in Nifty the housemaid, purely for the fact that she's such a simple gag character with so little in the way of characterization beyond gremlin and loves
Yeah.
cleaning / bad boys. It could be argued either way if it makes sense for her to defend the hotel. Personally, I'd
Yeah.
argue it isn't, as we never see her form a bond with anyone, though honestly I'm not sure if she has the capacity to do so.
Yeah, it's obvious she just wants the hotel to be like it's obvious in a way she's like incapable of thinking for herself. So if Alistair says protect the hotel, she's just gonna do it. Which is why she killed Adam without even realizing it.
Or even have opinions, but then again, she's such a nothing character, it doesn't really matter, so I'll give it to them, they can have her. And oh boy, does she help round out this batch of valid justifications or what? We've got protagonist, girlfriend, dad, don't know, and
And NPC toddler.
either or. I would say this lineup is embarrassing, seeing as the point of them fighting together was that it simply share belief in the hotel, yet almost every character I listed is either doing it more for Charlie or an unspecified purpose, but it
Yeah, self-serve.
pretty much speaks for itself, so why be redundant? Anyway, moving on to the cast members who shouldn't want to defend the hotel, let's start with Sir Pentious, as he's the closest to being justified
I mean, yeah, Pentious only switched up because they were gonna kill him.
of those who shouldn't. Having a very achievable, almost instantly accomplished dream of simply wanting a place to belong. That's it. He was this pathetic guy who hoped to fit in with the powers of hell but couldn't, so after being thoroughly rejected by everyone else, Charlie extended a hand, making him feel welcome for the first time in his afterlife. The work was basically done already. He'd been given a place to belong, he'd met people he could connect with, he should have been bonded to the hotel and its staff by the end of the season. But alas, somehow it all falls apart in execution. Or should I say, the lack thereof. Let me tell you, if Angel doesn't get enough screen time to properly develop, then Pentious is a fucking background character. At the very least, Angel got an episode about the start of his stupidly short journey. Outside of his introduction, I'm not sure if Pentious ever had more than 3 minutes of dedicated screen time per episode.
That is true.
Forget seeing his process, we don't even know what he needs to be redeemed for.
That's a valid criticism.
That's how underutilized he is over this entire season. Saying he doesn't have a connection to the hotel is an understatement. He barely
Yeah, his sacrifice was useless.
has a character. Really, I don't think he was included for any reason other than being the arbitrary sacrifice to prove the hotel works. I mean, who else were they gonna sacrifice? Angel Dust? The guy the show was hyping up as the prime example of a sinner improving? No, they can't do that. Angel has depth. He has goals. He has relationships with other characters. He's a fan favorite. Killing him off this early would be shocking and interesting. The horror.
Killing him off would be anti-profit. Anti-profit. It's been 2 hours, honestly. Fuck.
Could you imagine? No. That's not gonna work. Better to kill off the guy that didn't matter to begin with. That's a safe bet. People won't mind too much if he dies, but you know what? I do. By God, my man wasn't a complex character, but he was fun. He was charming. He deserved better. Fuck you, show.
That's fair.
Oh, Pentious was nowhere near close enough with the hotel for this to be a meaningful gesture. This was a
That is true.
forced martyring, and damn you
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They just killed him off for like no reason. Yeah.
all to double hell for it. And naturally segueing away from that, going to our next character that shouldn't have any connection to the hotel, we've got Husk, the bartender that's forced to be
Yeah, because Husk just doesn't give a shit about the hotel.
is, in the moment, blatantly meant to contrast Charlie's approach,
Yeah, because Husk just doesn't give a shit.
making Angel internalize those problems more as part of his identity. Husk addresses the roots. That Angel won't let anyone in out of an assumption that no one understands him. He thinks he's alone in the world, unable to find anyone who can relate to his troubles, and Charlie doesn't help by saying that everything's gonna be alright when Angel knows it isn't.
Yeah.
That brand of reassuring, sugary sentiment doesn't mean anything to him, as it's glaringly coming from the mouth of someone who doesn't know, and Husk
Yeah, exactly. It's coming from someone who won't be affected by this crap.
understands this, so he does something different. He chooses to be honest, telling Angel that his situation is bad, that things aren't going to be okay, at least not right away. But if the two of them face it together with open arms, it might not stay so bad. They don't have to be defined by their trauma. To the contrary, it can be a source of motivation for them to rise above. All it takes to start that journey is to not let it keep them down. And with that said, for the first time in the entire series, Angel drops the act. He stops masking his insecurities in sexual innuendos and a confident, cocky facade, lowering his
Yeah, that was a pretty good part of the episode of this show.
boundaries thanks to Husk treating him with respect rather than pity. It's one of the few times in the series where two characters organically connect on a deep personal level, making it undoubtedly my favorite scene in the whole series, as it's the one instance of Hazbin doing what I expected it to. But more importantly, getting back to
doing something productive.
the points, it's also accomplished by literally doing everything Charlie and the hotel don't. Husk is, in essence, making a statement about the hotel's inefficiency by demonstrating to the audience how it's done right. And this matches with his behavior so far. Earlier in this episode, he criticized Charlie for using the hotel as a means of avoiding her own issues. And up to this moment,
Yeah, her own daddy issues.
he's shown nothing but contempt for the hotel itself. He shouldn't feel any attachment to the building or its residents other than Angel. And I already know what you're thinking. Angel stays behind to protect the hotel, so maybe Husk is staying for him. But you're forgetting, I've already proven that Angel shouldn't have any attachment to the hotel either. So if Husk staying for him is the explanation, it's invalid. Angel shouldn't have wanted to protect the hotel with his life, so by extension, Husk shouldn't have either. Him going drinking with the rest of the cast once isn't enough to change that. conflicts. For the 5th or so time thus far, it's evident that he only comes around to the hotel so the finale of them all banding together can work. It's as simple as that, and it's equally applicable to Angel's friend Cherry Bomb, who's only there to back up Angel and says she doesn't believe in the hotel at all in an earlier episode, yet inexplicably, after the fight, she's just, like, part of the main crew. She had no incentive to stick around or act as if she was bonded to the gang whatsoever, but she does so purely for the sake of, damn it, isn't it nice to see everyone come together after the fight? But no, it isn't, because they didn't earn it. Most of these characters are about as close to each other as I am to the fucking moon. For this type of we're all in this together shit to work.
Yeah, for it to work, they all have to have like the same moral, the same. They don't have to have the same views, but they have to at least be cohesive, which they're not.
Everyone would have to be at least as close as Husk and Angel are, but from what we've seen, they barely know each other. They shouldn't be able to agree on what to get for takeout, let alone what to bet their lives on. It's totally unbelievable. Maybe if we spent the season watching them grow and form friendships while trying to get redeemed, I could see it, but you cut all that shit out for plots. Charlie learning to take better care of her patrons? Dropped. Angel slowly opening up? Rushed. Pinchas doing much of anything? Gone. All of them were cut for time, and good riddance, I say.
That is true. The 8 episodes really fucked that shit up.
Hey, who needs to see characters becoming better people in a show about characters becoming better people? What are you, stupid? We don't have time for that. We've got 10 more plot threads to open next episode, and we can't cut them. They're gonna be really important 5 seasons from now. We gotta think about the future here.
Yeah. The season 1 of episode 2 did way too much of the it'll be good later, but it's like I don't care about later. I want to see progress now. I want to see substantial progress now.
Here, the present is tomorrow's yesterday. We can't waste it on natural character development. Just say they grew off screen and it'll be fine. That's how we handle giving them depth beyond their basic character traits. Like, did you know Vaggy's critical of everything due to hating herself? Or that
No, of course not.
Charlie wants to help others to avoid dealing with her own problems? Me neither.
Yeah, me neither. Rush.
Sure. Husk basically turned to the camera and said as much, or we'd have no idea that was the case.
Yeah.
Now that's how you...
As usual, Keith David always carries every fucking film he's in.
know his show is well written. When the cast looks right at the camera with no shame and says, "Oh, you think I'm fake, a guy I barely know? Well, for your information, I do it to fulfill the role society in me. Also, I go to seedy bars so I can..."
Yeah, exactly. They like make it like textbook fucking shit.
Questioning. By the way, in case it wasn't understood, I'm not knocking Angel's trauma. For your information, I do it to fulfill the role society has given me. Also, I go to seedy bars so I can forget how much I hate everything. And hopefully if I self-destruct enough, my abuser will let me go. You unzip me. This is how a normal person reacts to basic questioning.
Exactly. It's unrealistic. It's like listening to a victim of assault just scream out the R word. That's not what happens. They don't just scream this crap out. Like it's not something you just scream out.
By the way, in case it wasn't understood, I'm not knocking Angel's trauma. It's honestly one of the few well-handled serious conflicts of the show, as I said, but come on, you have to admit, this shit is comically artificial and forced. Like, it's cool they want to give the cast these complex mannerisms that, under analysis, reveal deeper struggles and personal flaws. The ideas being presented are all really good in theory. I see the intention on paper, but what trips them up in practice is that either A, the writers don't have time to show those mannerisms, so they just said they existed and told us what they meant, or B, they did show them, but there wasn't enough time to convey their underlying meaning, so they just skipped ahead and told us what they meant.
Yeah, and that's a very bad thing. Yeah, it's amazing how this show forgets the golden rule of show don't tell.
Are you picking up on the pattern here? The writers cannot imply traits or convey their significance for shit. They want the cast to be multifaceted, that much is obvious, but they either don't have the time or they don't want to put in the work to insert it naturally. So in a display of pure creative bankruptcy, they just have the characters say it, breaking the main rule of visual storytelling and making the audience feel condescended to. It's a choice that ruins any investment a viewer might have had by talking down to them rather than letting them figure shit out on their own. For example, one of the few interesting things Charlie's got going on is that she and her dad are kind of distant. So how do you think they let the audience know that? Does she see other characters acting fatherly and look uncomfortable, avoid answering questions about her lineage, accidentally reveal her apprehension through the hotel activities? All good guesses if you're a tacky, unoriginal bitch. But Hazbin does something downright unexpected. In episode 1, it has Alistair say that Charlie has daddy issues. Then, in episode 5, Charlie is questioned on if she has daddy issues, to which she says, "We have just never been close," and the cast reaffirms this assertion by repeating, "Daddy issues." I swear to God, I'm not fucking exaggerating. This is how they handle every conflict in character.
That is true. That is true.
Traits. The writers don't think you can get what they're going for because they're shit at writing. They have a character.
Yeah, the writers are like so shit at subtext. The writers are shit at subtext that they have to just state shit.
Bluntly say what they're going for since they can't think of any other way to do it, and we, the audience, sigh in agony. Rinse and repeat for 8 episodes until the end. And I genuinely could keep listing them for days. It's fucking endless. And believe me, they're all hilarious in their varied yet equally unbridled lack of subtlety. But if I were to pick one that had the most negative impact on the story overall, it wouldn't be a particular trait or conflict, but rather the entire character of Adam, the main villain this season.
That's true. Adam was definitely a lackluster villain.
As he does a phenomenal job illustrating the core failures of this writing style. Great concept, loads of potential, ruined by a lack of creativity or effort. And he really is a major disappointment considering what he could have been. The basic idea surrounding his character is that as the first human allowed into heaven, he's, over time, developed a massive ego thinking he can do no wrong, using his divine status as an excuse for why he commits genocide on a regular basis. He's an antithesis to the typical perception of angels, exposing the loopholes in heaven's system where, once you've ascended, being a good person essentially becomes optional since there's no way you can come back.
Yeah, exactly. Which poses the question of like, can if an individual acts sinful, will they go to hell?
Down. Adam's mere existence in the story is meant to represent the unfair, backwards nature of hell and heaven that allow sinners to have their souls destroyed while pardoning anything done by the angels. And so with that in mind, I think it goes without saying that you could take him in so many fun directions. Think of the possibilities. He could be a holier-than-thou preacher who seriously believes the exterminations are just punishment, a strict rule follower who sees any minor violation as worthy of death, a deceptively calm, rational person who's only able to maintain such a demeanor by labeling his horrific actions as though he had no other choice. He's a personality begging to be given depth as a villain. The ideas just naturally flow when you think about it. But unfortunately, I'm sad to say, he suffers from a chronic disease known as being in Hazbin Hotel, a series where everything's about as subtle as a
being in Hazbin Hotel. Nice. That's actually a good way to put it.
Dagger to the face. So, regretfully, for him to fit in, he had to leave any substance he could have had at the door. Perhaps in another show he could have been different, serving as a strong antagonist while also being complex. But sadly, Hazbin doesn't have the time to flesh anything out. They need to get right to the point as soon as possible. So, in order to immediately get across what Adam's main role in the story is, that being as a bad guy, they skip the pretenses and choose to make him such a two-dimensional, transparently despicable jackass, it's surprising we never hear him say, "Man, I sure do hate women." Believe me.
Let's. Well, we wouldn't because Vivty is too pussy to do that, which is why she has to say shit like she had to have Katie Killjoy say, "I don't touch the gays," instead of saying like, "I don't touch dykes."
He does get very close, and judging by his character audition sheet, it seems that was going to be a defining quirk of his, but I take it they toned it back to keep from being too on the nose. Like, yeah, he swears every other word,
He's alpha male.
overly annoying, has the brain of a 6-year-old, and literally says the extermination is fun, but misogyny? Nah, that'd be too cliched. We aren't that obvious. It's funny because they are. And look, don't get me wrong, I love a good bastard. Some of my favorite...
Yeah, they're about as subtle as a fucking nuclear war. Yeah, they're about as subtle as fucking.
Villains are Judge Claude Frollo, Terrence Fletcher, Lord Shin, Yoshikage Kira. Adam being irredeemably evil and unlikable isn't the problem. In fact, another antagonist this season, Angel's pimp and serial abuser Valentino, is pretty damn good filling the same general role.
Valentino is definitely the best part of this show. Like, Valentino absolutely carries.
The only difference is that, unlike Adam, Valentino and all the other characters I mentioned feel like real people. We don't just know them for their goals and the face they put on in front of others. We see their fears, their anxieties, what's going through their head when they aren't being an active threat. We get to know the full scope of who these fuckers are and how they turned out the way they have. It helps invest us in seeing the heroes hopefully triumph, knowing what sort of monsters they truly are. But we don't really know Adam, not as a person. We do know the atrocities he's committed. We know he's hell-bent on continuing those atrocities. We know he takes advantage of heaven's perks to be an annoying asshole.
Yep.
And justify those atrocities, but why? Why does he want to kill demons so badly? It's easy to understand.
I mean, because it's obvious why. Because when he sees terrible people, he sees himself as that. He's projecting.
Understand why he sees him. It's made clear that wasn't what the other leaders were thinking, but what was his reasoning for suggesting the exterminations? It's made clear that wasn't what the other leaders of heaven wanted, so why Adam? At best, you could turn to his...
Because he's projecting, that's why. When he sees bad people, he sees himself as well. He's projecting.
Line about how he sees the exterminations as entertainment, but that's not like a moral conviction. He isn't so starved for enjoyment he turns to the exterminations out of pure boredom. He's just saying that to reinforce that he...
Yeah, no. He's just saying that as like a bullshit excuse.
He's an asshole. That's what everything he does is meant to do. He's defined by his actions more than anything else, but none of these actions imply anything other than, this is why you should hate him. And that's boring. If a bad guy has to randomly stab a puppy every second to remind you why he's bad, he's probably not a well-written bad guy. It's not enough to make them do reprehensible things. They need to have a motive for doing them. Take a Lord Shit.
Exactly.
He starts Kung Fu Panda 2 doing the literal exact same thing as Adam, leading a genocide. But what elevates Shin above Adam in terms of pure wickedness is that, plain and simple,
is that he actually does have somewhat of a motive.
We know why he did it. Shin was told a panda would stop him if he chose to become a dictator, so he preemptively killed them all to take over China unopposed. Think about what that says. That Shin was so obsessed with power and paranoid at his own future that he murdered thousands of innocent people to make sure one wouldn't rise up against him. How insanely heartless and cowardly is that? It tells you everything you need to know about who he is and why you should hate him without feeling the need to remind you over and over again through seeing him kill people and...
Yeah.
Motivation. There's no goal he's striving towards besides killing all the demons. There's no fear he's acting on besides the demons might stop us from killing them. There's no justification for him doing what he does besides killing demons is fun. Everything he is as a person goes back to his actions, and all his actions tell us is that he's a bad guy. What type of bad guy? The guy. The one that exists purely to be the antagonist of season 1 until the cast eventually beats him. And in the end, that's all he is. Nothing more, nothing less. What you see is what you get. Pretty ironic for a series that's all about people having more to him than meets the eye, but on the other hand, Adam isn't really a person, more a plot device, so touche, Hazbin. Touche. In all seriousness, though, Adam genuinely is a total fucking disaster villain-wise, and I'd have been willing to fully ignore his existence if it weren't for his song Hell is Forever, which, I'm not gonna lie, is super catchy and fun, as is most of the music. The songwriters, Andrew Underberg...
Yeah, the songs are very good.
Motifs ranging from old Broadway to electro swing to rock, and the Broadway performers they got to handle the material do a wonderful job. Everyone 100% did the best that they possibly could. No, I'm just gonna knock everything surrounding the song, since, as I was shocked to discover, there are episodes attached to these amazing music videos that, to say the least, knock a few of them down quite a bit when put in context. For instance, one of the songs I really enjoy, Into the League for Love, has great energy and instrumentation. However, the message it's delivering when you pay attention to the lyrics and content makes no sense. See, the song is this super nice sounding Spanish guitar dance number performed by Miss Hollow Knight, who, in training Vaggie how to kill angels, advises her that she needs to fight for love rather than vengeance. And in the moment, it's treated as if she dropped a bomb. Like, whoa, Vaggie fighting for love? No way! I never...
Yeah, it's almost like that was evident.
Considered that. After all, that's only been her motion for doing literally everything in the show so far. How could we have known? It's not like a majority of Vaggie's screen time is dedicated to helping Charlie, leaving little to no room for her to have her own problems, or that her being revealed as a former angel had no impact due to us knowing nothing about her besides being Charlie's girlfriend. And it's certainly not like her one song is about how she defines herself by her ability to protect Charlie, not mentioning vengeance once. Nah, being as she regains the wings she lost before, symbolically becoming whole again. And man, isn't that great? She finally knows who she is. Forget when she said her whole existence centered around protecting Charlie. That didn't happen. It was all part of your imagination. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. She was under the influence of an evil wizard, hiding her true self that solely wanted vengeance and had to be told otherwise. You aren't remembering right, you fucking idiots! Always does, but look on the bright side. There's way more songs that just repeat information instead of setting new status quos entirely. That's...
Yep, yeah.
Relay ideas that could have been summed up in 2 sentences max, but at least they aren't gaslighting us. We know what they're saying isn't contradictory to what we've seen so far.
It's unfortunate it's unfortunate that we
didn't have to do that. That's right. I mean, for any other show it'd wing us, we know what they're saying isn't contradictory to what we've seen so far. That's a plus, right? I mean, for any other show, it wouldn't be. It would be the standard, but, you know, Hazbin really understands how to make you appreciate the flow of information by showing us how much we've been taking it for granted. Other shows, they explain things.
Yeah, other shows, they actually have context.
At a normal rate, and let characters develop on screen, and don't waste the viewer's time with songs
that fill up the runtime. They could have been used. Yes, this is so accurate. The song between Lucifer and Alistair was such a waste of fucking time. Like, why did we need a whole fucking song note to clarify that this guy is jealous of someone else? Like, what the fuck?
that fill up runtime they could have used better elsewhere, and set themselves up with realistic expectations to keep from cramming in things that won't get a spotlight. Ha! I say, ha! How do you expect to cultivate an audience by doing what everyone else does? That's not what they're looking for. You gotta keep them on their toes, always guessing whether or not a concept
always doing stupid shit
will end up decently executed. It'll make them appreciate when the show isn't terrible all the more. Sometimes they'll get the right amount of focus, sometimes they'll be rushed as hell, sometimes they'll barely be addressed in a one-off line or two, sometimes they'll start out strong but get forgotten over time, and, well, sometimes they won't be addressed.
Sometimes they'll just be given a fat finger and not even talked
at all, despite having integral importance to the plot. Namely, anything having to do with who anyone was before they ended up in hell. Something you'd think would be a major part of the story, given the show is supposed to be predicated on sinners redeeming themselves out of damnation, but the weird thing is, they don't treat it as being redeemed for what sinners did on Earth to end up in hell to begin with. They laser in on what the sinners have done in hell as if their lives started there. Not a single time mentioning
well, some of them did start there because some of them are hellborn.
What led them to hell in the first place, and that's so strange, as I thought it would be the basis for a larger discussion in the show, and why wouldn't?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Why wouldn't it be? Especially given like Alistair's disturbed with Husker's comment about him being on a leash to someone else.
There's plenty of back and forth on the ambiguity of what it takes to get into heaven. Not even the angels knowing how they got there. But what does it take to get into hell? That's the question.
I mean, that's society now. They now know. They now know what.
Question I want to know. Morality is an inherently subjective matter when you think about it. There could be an infinite number of possibilities for what counts as behavior that's so bad it deserves hellfire. In certain religions, merely being gay is enough. Not believing in the right God. Working on a...
Nice. Yeah, but this show is not from this show is not Muslim.
Sunday, eating beef or shellfish or the meat of...
Eating... Oh, yeah, Muslim.
Someone else's spouse. I'm not sorry for that. My point is, rules for why a person does be in hell can be just as unclear as those for why a person should be in heaven. And if that...
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Notion were acknowledged, Charlie's stance on the matter would make so much more sense. In the show proper, her justification for wanting to save people is, frankly, super vague. Of course, you've got people like Pinchas and Angel who aren't nearly as bad as they first appear, but a majority of the sinners we come across are seemingly irredeemable. As Lucifer says in episode 5, most of his and Charlie's people are bloodthirsty, ravenous psychopaths bent on causing as much destruction as humanly possible.
That is true.
That's why hell is such a shithole.
Yeah, because most of them have no intention of bettering themselves.
Sinners make it that way from constantly fighting for turf and killing each other. It's a setting that completely...
I mean, the whole fighting for turf and killing each other happens in real life. That's not unheard of. That happens in real life.
Undermines the idea of sinners being redeemable. And in the end, while Charlie does convince Lucifer to trust in her dream, she never refutes his point. She doesn't have a proper rebuttal for what her dad says about their people. But if the parameters for getting into hell were as easy as anything I listed, that would put everything in a totally different light. It would simultaneously explain why Charlie believes the exterminations are unjust while giving us insight into how cruel heaven truly is. At the moment, them killing so many sinners doesn't seem that bad, considering how many of them unequivocally deserve death. But if the majority of sinners were there for little things, that would be a total game changer. It would turn so many blatant issues around. But it isn't the case. They completely missed the chance to mention people closer to the middle of the spectrum, and I think it was purely to preserve the aesthetics of true bad and good afterlives over giving a more nuanced perspective that takes into account all types of people. It's a massive missed opportunity, and moving away from the benefits it would have in the grander scheme of the narrative, there's also a metric shit ton of character building that's right there waiting to be utilized. How many doors for insight would be opened if we knew who these people were before they ended up in hell? What details and origins for character traits would we be able to dissect? It's innately an interesting topic.
This just ends on what if.
Rife for exploration that could have led to so many inferences and greater judgments about the characters. There's a reason one of the most popular videos on Hazbin is a discussion speculating how the characters died. People want to know the ins and outs of who these guys are. That's
I'm not sure, like,
why the initial concept of the show, the crew of the characters died.
Coco Cat. Oh, okay. I gotta check out that video. That actually looks like a very good video.
deviated from was appealing. It offered us the prospect of diving deeper into the complexities of these intriguing should-be villains from various points in history. And that's another thing. Deeper into the complexities of these intriguing should-be villains from various points in history. And that's another thing. Have you ever noticed how shockingly slim the mention of or allusion to what time most of the main cast came from is?
I mean, yeah, that is true. It's only briefly mentioned on wikis.
They're a tad more open with one-off side characters like Mimsy, Rosie, and Zestial, who've got distinct dialects, looks, and personality traits that give you a good summation of where they came from.
I mean, but even then, that's not really telling of like where they.
And as an exception, Alistair fits the bill as his gimmick, but why doesn't this standard apply to most of the main cast? Why isn't there anything to help us get that Angel died in 1947, or Husk in the 70s, or Pinchas in 1888? Those are some big disparities with huge cultural differences that should come through in their personalities. Yet most of them act like semi-modern 20 to 30-year-olds, excluding Husk, who's got an older feel despite...
Well, yeah, Husker's got an older feel, yeah. I've noticed that because like that's mostly the characters that like Keith David plays, but that's also because Keith David himself is a very old man.
Ironically, having been in hell for the shortest time, I just don't understand why their age and former lives don't ever come up in so much as an offhand comment when it's their choices in the living world that led them here. I swear, it's as if the series was so caught up in its own lore building and story, it forgot that a regular human world exists in this universe. Like heaven and hell are the start of people's lives, and everything else that came before is all irrelevant. And don't go for the excuse of, oh, maybe they're saving it for season 2. This isn't the type of shit.
Exactly. The season 2 excuse is fucking retarded. It's fucking retarded. The season 2 excuse is absolutely fucking brain dead. The season 2 excuse is absolutely fucking brain dead. The season 2 excuse is absolutely fucking brain dead. The season 2 excuse is absolutely brain dead. If you haven't established that these characters are good from the get-go, what the fuck is gonna motivate me to keep watching and watch them in the future? Like what? There's nothing that's gonna motivate me to continue watching them in the future.
You wait a whole season before clarifying, not intentionally. We need to stop pretending the crew have everything put together when it's so frustratingly evident that they don't. They have a load of passion, that's evident, and
yeah, that's true. They have a load of passion, but again, passion and drive are different.
I admire them doing all they can in spite of their limitations, but practically speaking, passion can only take you so far before running
Yeah, exactly.
out. As the old saying goes, every corp...
As the old say, inspiration is 1%, creativity is 1%, inspiration 99% perspiration.
On Mount Everest was once an extremely motivated person. It's not as simple as wishing really... Saying goes, every corpse on Mount Everest was once an extremely motivated person. It's not as simple as wishing really hard for the best outcome and everything turning out okay. You need to have realistic goals before trying something so difficult. Straight up, Hazbin didn't have realistic goals. It wanted to be a serialized slice of life comedy, a story-driven, lore-heavy critique of religious persecution, a character-driven, introspective look at how society handles rejects, a big, show-stopping musical spectacular, and all in the span of 8 24-minute episodes. And listen, I know they most likely had a larger episode order cut down to what exists now. I sympathize with the crew and predicament if that's the case, but
it probably wasn't.
It's when you're faced with that kind of drop.
I think it probably wasn't. Like with them being partnered with Amazon, they had the very much likeliness to increase their budget.
That more than ever, you need to adapt. Cut out what isn't working. Reorient the narrative to fit within the boundaries you currently have. You can't stubbornly attempt to follow the exact same plan when the game has changed so drastically. That's going to lead to disaster, and Hazbin's writing is a perfect example of how. As a reminder, this is all speculation on my part, so do take it with a grain of salt, but from how I read this whole bridged, less polished version of itself, the products he's most well known for aren't the ones where he had unlimited focus on what cuts, but poorly missing. Again, I can't speak on the production itself. I envision they were allowed to pursue untimed showrunner given that level of authority with no supervision or external input and highly limited resources? What do you expect to happen? It ain't rocket science to figure out what that formula is going to lead to. I'm surprised it's half as organized as it is. The fact it isn't nigh incomprehensible is while it is a major step forward that exemplifies the passionate talent of creators, it's only fair to look at it from the same standard as everything else. Any less would be condescending, and on that level, Hazbin...
Yeah, that's true. Now that Hazbin is now corporate funded stuff, we should treat it as like a corporate work.
It is a mess. An interesting, fun mess with a lot of
it's a mess.
Potential. One I'm looking for.
It's like I don't get it. Like people got like big mad that I titled my video a bigger mess than Helluva Boss, but it's like this guy literally titled it exactly that and it's fine. Like Like, come on now, stop, fuck off with the double standards.
Forward to seeing continue for the worthwhile ideas it does present, but a mess nonetheless. And I know that's harsh, this whole video is, but it's because I see what the show could be, and I can feel the potential almost in my grasp until I look down to see I've fallen off the cliff Wile E. Coyote style. It's amazing the show is doing as well as it is right now. I'm not going to downplay all that means, but if it wants to be both successful and the best possible version of itself, it needs to adjust to its surroundings. I've been Just Stop. You've been waiting for me to make a reference to Verbalace, there it is, and thanks for watching.
I've been
Grasp until I look down at all that means. I've been Just Stop. You've been waiting for me to make a reference to Verbalace, there it is, and
nice. That was weak.
thanks for watching.
That was a weak sauce. That was fine. That was an okay show. That was okay. Most of the critiques were solid. Some of the comparisons were unnecessary. Some of the comparisons were unnecessary. Some of the comparisons were unnecessary, but overall, a very solid, like overall, a very solid, a very solid video, and a very solid. A very solid watch. Overall, this was a solid live stream. I'm just gonna end it here, and I'll catch you guys next time. Okay, take care, y'all.